Good afternoon, church. For those who are here in church and those who are joining us online, we are welcoming you to this Sabbath afternoon. I know since morning we've been discussing about transgenerational trauma, and I would like to invite you to know that we are creating a safe space here today for you to be able to air out what has been ailing, what it means to navigate transgenerational trauma with hope. And for us to do that, we would want to, first of all, just give ourselves what is the reason why we wanted to discuss this lesson or this topic. One of the lessons is to create awareness, one of the goals. We also want to encourage honest intergenerational discussions. And then we will also want to be able to equip ourselves with tools to be able to cope with trauma. And we will also want to inspire hope and renewed sense of purpose in us as we go through life and for future generation. And also we would like to explore what is it we can do as a church. We will be guided by Jeremiah 31, verse 29 to 30, and we will be reading that in the course of our discussion. So before we begin, we will start with a word of prayer, and I would like to ask Ted, if you could lead us, open for us with a word of prayer.
Let us believe and pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you again to just ask that may your presence be with us, open our hearts to be able to feel what you have already prepared us to share. May we have an amazing discussion, and even after this, may one or two people find healing or find a safe haven with their family or with their loved ones. We thank you, Lord. We worship you, and we ask that may your will be done, for it is our prayer in Jesus' name.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ted. And to set us off, we have a panel members here. We are not saying we can exhaust everything. We would like you to participate so that we can be able to respond to whatever issues we have. So I would like us to introduce ourselves. I am Margaret Okenye. I'm a member of this church with social work as my background and a member of the counseling department. But I would like all my panel members to introduce themselves by name and give us a bit of brief of who they are professionally as we start. I would like to start from my far left with Elder.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Crispus Onkowa, one of the elders of this church. I'm engineer trained, turned psychologist. I have passion in parenting and family, and also I love God. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
My name is Emily Okoth Okuku. I'm a counselor and also a clinical psychologist, a member of this church, born again, a mother of 3 adult children, and I'm also one of the counselors in this church. But above all, I love the Lord with all my heart. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon once more. My name is Jackie Mwangwa-Yeko. I'm a psychologist by profession, specialized in child psychology. My passion is in this age from age 1 year to 18 years. That's where my heart lies. So I'm a member of this church, a member of a counseling team, and willing to support whoever needs support. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon once more. I hope Mekula. We want to have a discussion here, so don't look at us gloomy. We want us to have an open discussion, and my name is Ted Langat. I'm a member of this church. I am part of the counseling department. I support. I'm an advocate of change. I like to help people improve themselves. Don't expect me to say I'm a counselor. I'm a software, and I also do engineering, so that's part of my profession. But I'm here solely just to discuss and also to share and create a safe space for our youth and also our fellow younger children. So be blessed.
Thank you so much, my panelists, for that introduction. And just before, I know we were given a question: what is transgenerational trauma? And I would like the panelists first to define that from their own understanding, so that we have an understanding before we delve deeper into the rest of the questions. So, what does transgenerational trauma mean to you, Emily?
Thank you. Transgenerational trauma basically means transferring of, let's call it intergenerational, from one generation to the other. It could be emotional, it could be psychological, it could be behavioral patterns that are experienced from one generation, and you realize that it goes down to the next and the next generation. This could be like drug and substance abuse, conflict in relationships, and certain patterns that you see in families. And I believe all of you, even in the village, would say that that family is like this and this. Like in this family, we find that they are drug addicts or they are alcoholic. So it is something that is passed from one generation to the other. And just as Pastor said in the morning, if it is not, it could be conscious or unconscious. So if you as a family may not realize that this pattern exists in your family, but certain times you're required to really take a back step, especially if it is affecting or it's making your family dysfunctional, to be able to take a back step and find out, could this be something that is inherited from maybe my forefathers or our great-great-grandfathers? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily. I don't know whether there's someone else who would like to add to that. Elder, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, thank you. There's another aspect to what Dr. has shared, the environment we grow in or we are brought up in. Transitional trauma tends to metamorphose and change with time. So basically, what was my age might not be what there is because of the environment. However, there could be patterns, as Dr. has already indicated, in transitional, there's so much pattern forming in humanity. So you can also, but you change because of environment.
Thank you. So what I hear from the panelists is those wounds, those pains, those fears, and those hurt things that can be transferred unconsciously or consciously from one generation to another. And the environment can influence what it becomes. So that what I experience in my generation might be different from what my children will be going through, but it's transmitted from one generation to another. So I remember those of us who are online, we would like you to bring in your views, make comments. Our communication team will be taking that and we will be answering as we go on. So I invite you to engage online, and those in charge, remember to write down any question you have. As we were told, our Elder Stocky, will be picking up those questions. So we want to go next and just dig deeper into the background. I know world over, now that Newlife SDA Church is 5th Gong Avenue, as a membership, both physical and online, we live in a world where we are experiencing different types of trauma-causing experiences, from wars, from interethnic things, from so many things that cause people to experience trauma. And to take us through the background and how trauma is manifested, I would like to ask Elder Ogopa to be able to, Crispus, let me use to be able to take us through that.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Moderator. I want to welcome all of us to start this program from looking at the background of trauma And first of all, I want to welcome, there are a few friends I invited. I know some of you are watching. You are welcome. I also invited our ambassadors. Let me ask, how many ambassadors do we have in the room? Ambassadors, if you are there, please raise up your hand. Thank you so much. I see they are represented. So I want us to start this discussion this afternoon by asking those in communication to have my first slide. My first slide. I don't know if you're able to see it. Yeah, basically we want to consider a few facts, around 5 statements that can pitch our discussion this afternoon. The first one, as you listen and say, I'm working on it, everything which happens to us is stored in our bodies and lived out as experience or revealed in relationships. Everything just happened to you since you were a child. Psychologists taught us that even when you are in your mother's womb, what you experience can be lived out. Number 2, every generation has a fair share of their challenges according to their time. No generation can solve the problem of the other. So what we need to do is study and see how best we can work through our own time with our own challenges. Number 3, we have said that human beings form patterns. And then number 4, we parent the way we are parented. Number 5, life is lived forward, experienced backwards. This is a very profound statement I would like us to think about, even as we start to read this important topic. Now, the first thing is, go to the next slide. I want us to take our minds back to the old times, when our lives, our first, pre-colonial period, all the family systems were working, social relationships were there, the next generation learned from their parents who are alive in their children, life was shared with all the purpose. The society was healthy. There was also our religious systems, which we believed. As of that time, everything seems to run very smoothly. The next slide. Came colonialism. When colonialism came, they dismantled our African social fabric, moral systems and values. Then they captured our men. Remember that? When they used to come, they captured our men, left women with the children, and then also they made sure we think our God was primitive in some way. That with the way we were worshiping was not the right one. Because this also brings conflict in our lives. And then family was disintegrated. Actually, colonialism is based on divide and rule. And that's the first time, mostly in African societies, when they started experiencing trauma. What was the result? They brought fear, silence, violence, comparison of reward system, a vertical way of leadership, separation. And from there now, the next generation, they normalized trauma. They thought that was their life. So what happens is the society and the parents believed in silence, fear, and violence. By the way, do you realize, I was reading a certain research which was saying that 7% of armed conflict is in Africa, which affects 54 million people. 54 million people in Africa. They are displaced due to armed violence. Maybe this, what was propagated from the colonial period, we are still living it, even in our homes, in our political circles, in our ethnic, life, and we love. Violence is a part of most African descent. Even in the U.S., those research has been done. So what do we lose? We lost stability in our family, our home and society. There was no safety anymore in our environment, in our institutions. We lost trust for self, others, and institutions, and we lost connection. Actually, that's what we call trauma. Now, after that generation of my grandfather and my father now, myself now, who is a living experience of trauma, is individualism. Parents, what I've written there, how do we live out trauma in our lives, which was carried through. Parents of the next generation, they have a next generation concept by guiding the next generation through fear. Fear has been in our lives. Why we take our children to school and work everything, buy everything for them, is because of the trauma we have faced before. Number two, we are the generation that is trying to witness revolution. What's happening is, in the current status right now, after silence, violence was passed over to me, when I try to pass to my children, it's not going to be possible because of the environment we are living in, which we are going to come to and see how it affects us. Then now, what's happening is parents, we started living that trauma by what I've written there, strengthening the walls and with a weak foundation. And finally, all of us, we are living in a survival mood. We're in a fighting mood. Not because we don't share it, but it's something which is living in us, which makes us react like that. Finally, in my final slide, I've tried to think of the new generation we are in. Once we had a survey and research, and you had one of the things which we collected was this generation feels entitled, they are fearless, we have heard that every time. They are lazy, they love money, they are disorganized, tough to manage in church, in the nation, and everywhere. They seem not to know what they want. But they know they want something. But no one can really put a finger and see what they want. So what they are communicating, in that way we feel there is rebellion. What we are thinking is against the authority. They are communicating they want, first of all, they are denounced, the new generation, that's like Gen Z, the millennial and Gen Z and other generations, they have denounced, they don't want to be included in the conspiracy of silence, what we inherited. Number two, they are saying, give us what you gave us. We went to school for them. They joined in degree programs, which actually was not a part of their lives. It's us. So finally, I want to say, it's as if we are living in a chaotic world. And I want to pray that this afternoon, as we sit here, tracing our own lives and reflecting on our own children, and see how life has carried us through to trauma. Thank you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you so much, Elder, for that chronology of where trauma really started to happen to us and where we are at. And like you said, as we seated here, these discussions bring to memory some tough things, yeah? So I want you to know how you feel. It's okay. So as we discuss this, if you start tracing back, as we dig deeper now, if you start experiencing some feelings, remember it's okay to feel the way you're feeling, and everyone acknowledges that it's not an easy thing to recall some of the things that we've gone through. I would like us to look at the Bible, and I will ask someone to read for us Jeremiah 31, chapter 31, verse 29 and 30. I don't know whether my fellow panelists have a Bible. Ted, do you have a Bible? Yes. Jeremiah 31, 29 and 30. If you could read for us, Ted. 31.
So Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 29 and 30. It says, "In those days they shall say no more, The fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. Verse 30, but everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge.
Thank you. I would like a communication team kindly project again. We want to say, we are being told, but everyone, okay, in those days, they shall say no more. The fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. Next verse. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. I don't know what that says to you, but from what we've heard about the background of trauma, it's so easy to keep on saying it's because of our fathers, it's because of this. At this moment, we realize where Elder Ed at, that you know that we have a generation different from ours, and it's important for us to take matters to our own hands. And we are taking matters into our own hands by being able to understand where we are coming from, picking what was positive, and breaking the cycle of what was negative to move forward, so that we won't blame others. We are taking our life forward with Jesus. Thank you so much. I would like us to dig a bit onto a survey. If you remember, there was a survey that was going online, which one of them was for parents, responding to parenting styles. The other one was for understanding youth. So I would like to hear from Jackie what our observations are as she presents on that survey.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Now, we conducted a survey a few weeks ago, and we must say that we are happy that 32 members, interacted with the survey, and we got results. I'm not going to take you through what percentage this group, scored this and all that, but I would just want to tell you some of the issues that, were raised by parents. Parents feel a certain way, and the youth also feel a certain way. Now, if I may start with the youth. The youth feel like the parents are not understanding them. The youth also feel like the parents expect them to be perfect. The youth also feel like the parents are being too hard on them, forgetting that the parents are also not perfect in their own life, in their own circle of friends and all that. Sometimes they make some choices that are actually not really right. But when it comes to their children, they expect the children to be very, to be perfect. So those are some of the things that they are saying. Again, they feel like sometimes the parents' expectations are too high for them. For example, the youth that have just, started working. Some parents will feel like, oh, my son started working this month. Next month, this youth is given a list of responsibilities. You are going to pay school fees for child number 1, number 2. You are going to, pay for electricity bill. This youth has not even seen the salary. He's not even sure if he's going to get paid. But already he has responsibilities that he's wondering what is going to happen next. Is this how it's supposed to be? And you never know, that might be one of the reasons why some youth don't want to leave their homes and they don't want to work. They don't want to get work. So those are some of the things that we saw. But then again, the parents are not comfortable. They're not comfortable because they also feel the youth are not understanding them. So these two teams are not understanding one another. But then we need to, meet at the middle line so that we understand one another. The youth understand the parents, and the parents understand the youth. Now, the parents sometimes parent the way they know it best. So the youth will feel like the parents are just trying to be heard, they don't want to understand them, they are so judgmental, because that's one of the things that they are saying, you know, just being seen, a girl being seen with a boy talking, the parent has already concluded. And from my work, from my previous experiences with the youth, the ones that I've talked to, there's a student that told me, she's a high school student. She told me that, you know, I can't be seen with any man, be it my cousins, be it my uncle, be it my friends, classmates, or whatever, because the moment I'm seen with them, my parents judge. And they think that they're being told, you know, you'll get pregnant, keep on talking to these men. And she's left wondering that, am I not supposed to be associating with girls, with boys? This is the same girl that you expect to get married in the future. So you see where the confusion is coming from. So the parents are parenting the way they know best. Again, the parents are parenting the way they were parented. Some parents were beaten thoroughly. Every mistake, even if you cough at the wrong time, you are punished. That's how they also, you know, parent their children. And the youth are not comfortable with that. But meanwhile, the youth also don't understand the reason why the parents are doing what they are doing. There's a book that I usually recommend to all my clients that I interact with. This book, it's titled, The Reason You Act the Way You Do. I can't remember the writer, but this book personally has helped me, and I've come to realize why I do things the way I do them. There are so many things that were shared, and I believe as we are going on with our discussion, we are going to tackle most of them. So let us, you know, just sit still and wait. Let us discuss. Let us engage. And when you see us in front here as counselors, don't feel like we are angels. We've also gone through some of these things that you are going through as parents, you are going through as youth. We've gone through them, and you never know, some of us may still be going through them. So let us strive to be self-aware. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for that summary. And what I get is a feeling that youth feel unheard. They feel like they are parentified, being given responsibilities that belong to parents. And I just want to pick one thing that one said. I long to be heard. I didn't feel understood when typing, trying to express my feelings. Another verbatim expression was, stop raising children like they are in a military camp. It's the reason I'm hyper-independent, a perfectionist, and have immense fear of failure. Another verbatim, it was now gratitude. It says, thank you. You did what was best, the best of what you knew. It has made me who I am today. Those two statements show the feeling of being traumatized. But then there is hope with the third one. And I would like Emily to comment on what we've just shared about the results.
Thank you, moderator. Yeah, I would like to comment on what my sister Jackie has just commented on. There is a discourse, so to speak. Parents and their children are not on the same page. And it's in different angles because we all come from different families. As we've been told, there are transgenerational effects or trauma arising from how we are parenting, how we were parented, and how we want our children to behave. I want to talk about maybe what she said about, you know, a child being told, if you're seen with a boy, then someone just concludes that you're having an affair with that child. I remember when I was a young girl in high school, the way I was parented, my mother was really a terror, so to speak. So like I would go to the shop, there you even greet somebody. The other day I was going to the shop, and then another boy came and greeted me. I just had pop, and the boy had fallen down, and it was chaotic. And that was really, really traumatic for me, because then I would go to the shop and she would deliberately send you, kumbe she is behind you, you know, following up what you're doing, and, you know. So nobody could joke with their children, and you are also not allowed to do that. So when it comes to a parent, you know, making up about what their child is doing, I know I work with the youth a lot, and they feel really stressed. 90% of our youth feel that our parents or their parents do not understand them. And so all the stressors, most of the stressors that we have, and also the psychological turmoil that the children are going through, it's because they feel their parents do not understand them. Parents on the other side are not understanding them, because they're saying, I'm providing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I've put you in school. Look at a child who is in school, and kumbe the parents are paying fees, but they have not been in school the whole semester. The parent doesn't know. So when you come to ask, even them, they're asking you, but dad, you knew, but mom, you knew, you know. So I want to give an example, for example, what Jackie said about us allowing our children to be able to relate with other boys. I remember my mom, when we were growing up, she would say, if a guy tells you I love you, just tell him I hate you, and I hate you forever, and I will never love you. That was my mother. But I'm looking at this girl who is being told that boys are not good, and that's how we want to parent. So this girl is in high school, and you know, the mother wants them to look like we are Seventh-day Adventists. So I want to cut my daughter's hair so that she's Seventh-day Adventist, yeah? She needs to look the part. And this girl feels she's not beautiful, and psychologically she's disturbed. She is not able to, you know, feel comfortable with the boys. And so she develops some psychological, you know, trauma, so to speak. Trauma in the real sense, because you're not allowed to, you know, relate with boys. And they go to high school, and they meet a girl who takes good care of them. And this girl pampers them and shows them love, and they are initiated into lesbianism. And so this girl, she's told, oh, boys are bad. But now I have a lover who is a girl, because now I'm not allowed to walk with the boys. So that's how that grows. But then when you come back, again, talking about counseling, this girl is confused, because she's confused at home, she's confused at school. Because at school, she's finding people are relating as, you know, same sex, same gender. And then at home, I'm being told boys are bad. So these are the girls you'll grow up with. You go, you bring them, you know, sleepover. Your girl is bringing someone for sleepover, but they're actually their lover. And those are things that are happening here and now. So you're thinking, they come to church, they're not supposed to relate with the boys. They go back home, they go back with a girl. Kumbe, this girl is the one they're having a relationship with. So it is for us to come down to the level of our children and to understand them. When I talk to children also who say they don't understand their parents, and I would ask them, when was the last time you told your dad, okay, you're saying you don't like him. When was the last time you told him, I love you, Dad? Ati, me, I can't. So you try to talk to them and just say, send a text and tell Dad I love you. He's not going to, he'll be so surprised, he'll be shocked that he's even, but I say, just try. So that's how we try and build this relationship. What is it as a child that you're doing to your parents that would show them that you really care about them? It's not one way. It's not only about the parents. How about the parents? What are you doing? It's not about paying school fees. Are you going that extra mile to show this person, to show your child that they are special? Not only through giving them money, are you there present psychologically and physically? Not just by being in the house. You could be in the house, but you're not present. Are you present? Do you know about them? And this child, the youths, I think the ambassadors are here, many of them. When was the last time you even took time to even buy your father even a chocolate? Something as little as that, just to appreciate them. So it's a two-way traffic. It's not a one-way. And through that, we'll be able to understand. And these traumas can be, made up because you're thinking. That's a story. Because when someone tells you, I don't love you, when you imagine someone doesn't love you, unless they have spoken it, it may not be true. It is a story. Something that is a fact is what you can take to a court of law. They told me this. So even as the children are imagining we don't love them, even as the parents are also imagining the children do not understand them, where do we meet? And maybe I'll ask my panelists to also dig into that. Thank you.
No, just before they come in, I want to find from the congregation and those online, whoever would like to share their experience, because this is a discussion that we are living, is it? It's what we are living today. Anyone who would like to share their experience? Anyone? Or I'm assuming you've also passed down your questions. Carol, would you like maybe to read some of those questions? And as Carol prepares to come, I would like to hear and explain. Maybe Elder, we'll come to you. Let's start with the lady next to me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity. What Emily has said has so much weight. Did you know that there are parents that have parented a child, now they are like 30 years, but they don't know their child? If you are asked who your child is, you'll say their name, the school they went to, their profession, what they are doing now. You cannot know your child if you are away. Being away does not mean that you are away physically. You can be there physically, you are with that child, you sleep under the same roof, but you are away. There is no connection at all. I know people have done this, but they don't really understand. They've done it unconsciously. Personally, I came to know so many things. When I joined college, I was a grown-up. I had suffered psychologically, unknowingly. And I know the people around me also didn't know what they were doing, they were doing to me. I came to realize when in college there was something we were doing called River of Life. River of Life is you start speaking about your life from when you can remember you are a person. Like, I could speak from when I was in nursery school. I could remember everything. And since then, I came to realize who I was. I came to realize why I do things the way I do. And I came to realize why my parents, my siblings, my friends did what they did the way they did it. So let us try and know our children. You may be having 5 children and you want to make all of them be the same. That can never happen. All these children have different personalities. They will react to punishment differently. They will react to compliment differently. So don't try and make them that. Why don't you appreciate the way so-and-so appreciates when I buy things? Why don't you react the way so-and-so reacts when I punish them or I discipline them? So let us try. It may be very difficult, but let us try to know our children. That's the only way that we will learn how to understand each other. And the children should also learn our parents. And we should also know that, oh, my dad, this is how far I can go with my dad. I can joke with him, but I can't cross this line. This is the far I can go with my mom. I can tell her this, but I can't cross this line. So let us be self-aware. Let us learn ourselves. Let us learn the people we are parenting and associating with. Thank you.
So I pick that one, let's know ourselves. Do we even know our parents, what they went through to bring us the way they brought us through? It is interesting that you can be at this age, but you don't know the story of your parents. Yeah? And there are things you have picked from them that are influencing you to behave the way you do. Once we are able to know who we are, then it becomes so easy to know our children and to be very intentional as we bring them up. So it is that bit. I know Carol has been standing for long, so I would like to add to give us the concerns that have come, and then we'll come to hear other experiences from the panel. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maggie. I have 3 questions from online. Number 1 is from a single mother of 2. She says, I rushed to a union that turned out toxic, and I left an year back. Is there hope for my kids not to go through the same? The second question, how do we safely approach individuals we believe are experiencing trauma in the context of discussion? And number 3, there's a lot of talk on not being understood. How can we break the silence? And probably I would share in another question from the discussion that Emily shared as she was sharing her experience of being told that boys are not good. Like, tell them, I don't love you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then when I approach 24, 25, my mother expects me to be married. And now I'm supposed to be loving this boy that I hated forever. So how do we merge the two and bring me from the other side of the river to now loving this man forever? Thank you.
Carol, could you pass me the question so that I give? So these are questions from online. I'm wondering whether we have any questions in here. Ama, we are answered as we go on. Thank you so much. So I would like Emily, if you could tackle the single mom of 2, rushed to a union that turned out toxic, and I left a year back. Is there hope for my kids not to go through the same?
Thank you. Yeah, I think we have stereotypes generally that if your parents, for example, like in my culture, you're told that there are some families where there is divorce and there is divorce, and that becomes a pattern. But that's not true. Usually what happens is that when people say things over and over, then you internalize them and you start believing they're true, but they're not true. Why do I say they are not true? Because there are many people who have divorced, but they've ended up starting other relationships and things going on so well. There are many families where we've had like people who've had children with other people, but they are called what families? Blended families. And you'll find someone comes with their children, you come with yours, and it still works. What is important is what really happened. Do you understand what happened before this divorce took place? What were some of the challenges? And before you get into another relationship, are you able to really work on yourself? Because if you don't work on yourself, then you're carrying this baggage from this relationship into this other relationship. You can attest, even here in church, there are people who've gotten married again, or who are single parents, but their children have performed very well, and their children are excelling. And even as they are single, their daughters and their sons are getting married. So that's a stereotype that we shouldn't believe in, especially as Christians. And if there's a pattern that happens in your family, you can still pray about it and have it crushed. But first of all, know yourself. Know yourself. And even as a parent, when you're so stressed about your children, allow them to be. Because sometimes you will unconsciously protect them from men. For example, if you're a lady, like she has said, you'll overprotect them. Allow them to be. Allow them to lead normal lives. It is normal. And I'm just using this as a counselor. We normalize some of these things. That it is normal for people to break up. And sometimes it's not because of you. It's beyond you. Because if you're able to, then you can do something about it. But if you have done everything humanly possible on your side, and it's still not working, and the two of you agree to part, then you can only pray to God and move on. It is normal. And just know that people have left and their children have flourished. You're not going to be the last, neither will you be the first. And because it affects you, and that's why we personalize, it's an individual, autonomy. How do you feel as an individual? Again, I'm not saying because others have done that yours is going to be the same. But it's how you take care of yourself. And that's why we propose or we ask that you see a counselor who will be able to help you process how you're feeling and help you to know how to live without that marriage, and also how to help you parent your children as a single parent or if you're co-parenting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily, for that response. And we have the question of, someone is, let me read it verbatim. How do we safely approach individuals we believe are experiencing trauma in the context of discussions? Elder, would you like to look at that?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, it's true. We live in a community where we have our friends, our children, our parents who experience some trauma. And the question she's asking is the approach. The approach. Yeah, first of all is trust. If I have to help you, then you have to trust what I'm telling you. So it depends on the relationship or between the ones you and the one we are supposed to help. Number two, the social systems. We don't live in isolation. If I cannot be able to approach my sister, my brother, then I can find who can I talk to, who can be able to really guide this person to a place of help. As Dr. has said, one of the things which we should recommend all the time is seeking therapy. Seeking therapy. So if I'm not able to approach that person, then I can find in the social circles who can be able to be of impact in helping that person to seek help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder. The trust, building trust with that person, and also therapy is something, it's not like you have to be at the very bottom for you to be able to seek therapy. You can walk in. The counselors here know, I call and I say, because I need help, because I need to understand, because I need to be heard. Counseling is not for, we say in our languages here that wamechizi. No. It is just a guidance to be able to navigate life as we move on. Ted, there's a lot of talk about being understood and not being misunderstood and all that. In your own words, how can we break that cycle? I know we have responded to that, but in many ways, but maybe just thinking through.
Thank you. I've heard something about silence and how to talk. And as I was thinking about this thing, I just came to a realization, most of the times we are afraid to call out our parents because you slap us a lot and you hit us a lot. So it's difficult for us to call you out on your stuff. But you find that in order to navigate from a perspective where you understand that, hey, this has actually been going on and I need to address this, first off, you need to literally see these people as just human beings and tell them the way it is. I'm saying this because from my own perspective, The healing I received is because I decided to just say something out. You're judging me because, back in those days I used to have dreadlocks. Now it's falling off. It's okay. But you see, the point is I had to tell them, you're judging me, you're calling me out, you want to say this, but this is what you did, and this is why I'm like this, and this is how I reacted to it. So you find that most of the times we keep on carrying this burden of, I was waiting for my time to come so I can say, there's two perspectives I like to give you today, that when you leave here, I need you to think of two perspectives. You're either the victim or you have a victim mindset. And if you're the former, if you're the former, you need to sit down and actually accept it and try to figure out, okay, if this happened to me, so how do I move from this step to this step? Self-actualization comes from you knowing what the problem is. And if you have a victim mentality, please, you either come see our friends here, or you have to sit yourself kwa mkutano, no, you attend that mkutano. Because you see, sometimes we carry these things because we don't want to address the situations. We want to keep ignoring, keep blaming people, and keep holding on to these things so that we keep on hurting ourselves and other people. You get into a relationship because you could not speak to somebody, your parent, all these things. You project to your loved ones. You project to your children. Matter of fact, I want to tell you all that as you're here, the Lord is proud of you in all that you do. I want you to know that. Because you see, the thing is, even as parents, you may not have been told that, I'm proud of you. You did good. You did good raising your children. And most of the times, we carry this thing on ourselves. We beat ourselves down. We think we did not do enough, but we did all we could do. And even for us younger people, it's up to us to say, you know what? We are also responsible for our own healing. We cannot keep blaming them, because you see, we also need to heal, because later on, I want to get married. I want to have children. But you know what? I cannot jump into that lane if I have not taken responsibility for my own healing. And this is something we need to realize. And if, I don't know if I've answered my question, but I want you to leave this place knowing this perspective. If you're the victim, find healing in your self-actualization. If you have the mentality to just keep blaming people, ingia mkutano na uattend. Thank you.
That's the reason I had not asked Ted, because he would have finished the discussion before we started. Thank you so much, Ted, for that. That we need to stop blaming and take responsibility. I'll share this. My daughter told me one day, Mommy, I just realized I was a guinea pig. Because we are not brought up any other child. So you are parenting, you are just, you made me a guinea pig in trying to parent. And I forgave you. Okay? And she will remind me often and tell me, I know you are trying your best. And I just realized you are human. And for me, that really spoke a lot. Because I was vulnerable and said, yes, some I don't know. I will need to understand them from your perspective for me to be able to deal with it. So I would like to hear whether there is any other examples that we have. Yes, someone wants to say something. If you could come over because of the mics. We only have 5. So as Jerry comes over, I would like the panelists to say if there is something they would like to beef up. Elder, sorry, I cut you short. You can come in as Jerry comes to settle on that footprint. Go ahead, Elder.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Moderator. I want to give 2 things, 2 perspectives, even as we continue to think about the questions, interrogating our lives in the light of transgenerational trauma. Why, when you blame somebody, you feel good? Have you ever experienced it? When you're blaming somebody, you feel good. The reason is because of shame. Shame, S-H-A-M-E. Shame is something we need to discuss as a church, that we can introspect our own lives. Sometimes we are so violent at home because of shame. Why that parent was telling that child, "Wewe sikuwa na wanaume, sikuwa na watoto na wavulana, utakuwa pregnant." Sometimes it's out of shame where they have come from. The second thing very important is on the healing of the wounds. We need to start reparenting our inner child. Everybody here, Whether you are 90 years old, whether you are 5 years old, there's an inner child of you who needs to be educated and starting to find a new age of life in respect not only to yourself, because we are very selfish. Life is very selfish until you open your eyes and realize there are others living around you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder. Reparenting ourselves. Mommy might not be here to tell them. Daddy might not be here to tell them. But you can reach out to that inner child and tell them what you wanted to be told when you are that age. Jerry, you'd like to share?
Yes, I have 3 comments. Short words. 1, you can only teach as much as you know. The question is, are we ready to learn? Today, in this era, we are mingling. You took us to school. We meet different people. Are you ready to learn that me being a fisherman or the son of a fisherman can go to the mountain and get someone and bring to you? Are you ready to learn? Or are you ready to learn? You can only teach the much you know. Secondly, have you ever told your parents, I love you? This is a personal question. A personal, very personal. If you're a lady, have you ever told your mother, I love you? And if you're a man, have you ever told your father, I love you? And if you're a man here, has your son ever told you, I love you? If not, why? That is the second thing. Just think about it. Lastly, the Lord says that I shall not do anything before I tell my servants, the prophets. There is no one, no youth, no child who will ever wake up and do something without telling someone. Example, there is no lady who can wake up one morning and just decide that today I'm going to be a prostitute. No one. There is no boy who can just wake up one morning and just say, from today I am going to be a gay person. No one. They always have to share it with someone. The question is, you as the parent, are you the running point? Or you are the fence? I would love to create myself, to model myself, to create that atmosphere in such a way that that boy of mine, that girl of mine would always find me as a refuge. That you want to do something, tell me first. I create that environment, and if I want my son to tell me I love you, I will tell it first. Tell him I love you, because even you will get old and your son will not tell you I love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Osumba.
Thank you for the conversation. First of all, I'd like to just share my reflection about the terminology intergenerational trauma. First of all, I think it's a misnomer, meaning that it is, we accept it for the way it's named, but it's really not it. Why? Because behind anything you'll define as intergenerational trauma is an individual. So first of all, it is that individual that is going through whatever circumstances or issues that they are dealing with. And secondly, the corollary to physical pain, when you say ouch, it means you've been hurt physically. But the way we express physical pain is by feeling. The feeling that either you express expressively or bottle internally. And therefore, it is important that we address the question of not understanding each other, the parents not understanding the children, and the children not understanding the parents. The issue here is this. We could be talking about everything else, but failing to talk about the feeling. So I could say I'm happy, but I'll say I'm happy. Unless we are both happy and you live there saying we are happy, but the truth of the happiness that somebody is saying and the genuineness of the feeling of happiness must be explored. And many a times that's where the disconnect comes about. The second last point I want to make is that reality is perceptive, and it is built around the construct of what we historically know. If anyone was to bring up a pot that is empty and place it in front of the panelists with straws, each one holding a straw, and we have the same conversation, I bet somebody would leave here not having understood anything else we've discussed, but with the conclusion that I was in church with a bunch of drunkards. Right? Now, the only way to clarify assumptions is by asking, Elder Onkoba, when you are discussing, were you guys having something to drink or what was going on? Then, he or she will tell you exactly what the pot was for and what the straw was about. Many a times we don't do that. I'll end by sharing my personal experience. We bring up children the way we are brought up. And by the way, we are also living for the first time. There's nobody who's living here a second life. The life you're living is for the first time. And we raise the children the way we are brought up. And so I did. I'm a father of 3 girls. And one of my girls, she was very tiny. I think she was about 4, right? If you didn't do your homework, we knew how you were straightened out to do homework, and that's how they were stretched out to do homework, and that's how I know the way the children should do homework, right? And until at some point, one day, she hadn't done her tables, all right? And I was there, right? And then, good thing, God has given them the power to speak up. And so she was teary on her bed, seated on her bed, but she said, Daddy, you make me afraid. That's a feeling, right? Now, I had a choice on what do I do with this information. Trust me, it has changed the way I raise them up. It has changed the way I choose to hear them. And so we need to make sure that beyond anything else we talk about, how does that make you feel? Must be the last question you ask. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Osumba. About emotions. How did that make you feel? And we need to learn to say, when this happened, this is how I felt. Personalize your feelings. Because the way we say it could look judgmental. Let's learn not to say you all the time. Makes people know how you feel. We have another person who would like to also contribute to this discussion. Welcome.
I'm that other person. So, good afternoon. I'm Hesbon Kirua. My background training is in science, medical science. I do medicine. So thank you for what you've said so far. I'd like to add this. I come from a farming community. If you want to produce good crops, you need water, sunshine, warmth, soil. So also, if you want to damage the crops, you need weeds, weevils, bad crop training, okay? So also, there is, in psychology, as most of us are in psychology here, there is negative psychology and positive psychology. Any psychology beyond the year 1970 was dubbed negative psychology, focuses mainly on our traumas, our issues, we are bad people, everything is wrong. Our positive psychology is that there's actually another side to this psychology. Like raising crops, you need sunshine again, you need water and all that. So any child, whoever they be, if you show them love, emotional connection, emotional warmth, the best kind of parenting from studies is it should be demanding and supportive, okay? So if you raise your child without being demanding to them and without being supportive, should you be surprised that I'm a bad child at this age? These are all men of great intellect have dealt with problems in the past. They find the problem and then they do everything to find out the solution. So what's our problem here? Intergenerational trauma. What is that? Trauma means injury. It could be mental, social, physical, psychological. Then what do we do with that trauma? Carl Jung said that any trauma, any neurosis, any depression, any mental illness, basically is complicated grief. If something bad happens to you today and you feel that pain, it's gone, okay? Most of us are sort of stuck where we first felt that trauma, Somebody told you that you are not smart enough, and that's where you are. There's something I was thinking about with my friend here. I've never had a man say, I'm a single father, okay? But women would say that at the first sentence. So could it be that that's how we are trained to think? I am this, I don't have this. Can you imagine that? You go to Israel, you go to Canaan, you say, I look like a grasshopper. So what God told Cain when he was going to meet Abel in the field is, sin crouched at your door. You can rule over it. And then lastly, I'd say, I think most of these traumas, in my opinion, come from the fifth commandment. What exactly do you mean by honor your parents? If he tells me to do something wrong, should I do it? If he punishes me for expressing my opinion, am I honoring? Should I honor God before them? Should I honor them before God? Should I do what God called me to do? Or should I do what he wants me to do? Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for that contribution. And we really, really appreciate the interactions that we are having. I would like to call on Ted. Maybe you can summarize what he's just told us.
To the best of my capabilities. I also had a moment where I had to ask myself, what does the Bible in different versions, what does the fifth commandment actually say? Does it say obey your parents or honor your parents? Because you see, sometimes you guys command us to do some things where we ask ourselves, like, why? If a friend invites me over to their home, and he's a fellow young man, we go to church or whatever, he says, hey, you can come over. So as my mother, why would you say, no, utaenda next time? We don't know if next time will come. He's invited me today. So as a child, I'm asking myself, why? And you see, we keep picking these things up, and these are the things now which helps us, or rather, it becomes the bricks to the wall we build against our parents. Because there's some things that don't make sense. To you, it could be there's fear of atakula kweli, or there's fear of I don't like these people, they are wealthier than us, or they will like this other part. You see, and out of these things, as children, we grow up wondering, how are we supposed to honor our parents? Am I supposed to sing in the choir is honoring my parents? Some will say yes, but I don't want to stand here and sing. So am I a bad child? So you see, in the context of even the way we are parented as young people, I don't want to take too much, but out of that context itself, you find that most of, and I'd like to jump to my brother, he talks about that feeling aspect, is lately my relationship with my father has very much improved because of we've broken walls that I thought I would never speak to him. So nowadays I can just talk to him as a friend, but as a father with respect. But you find that most of the times, until recently, I was able to tell him, I'm actually going through this thing, my business is not flourishing. And he was like, why didn't you tell me? You know, if you were going through this, you could have called me first. But you see, me as a child, in my mind, the thinking, as my sister Emily talked about, the thinking was, my father was so busy with my elder brother. He didn't care about me. So you find that there's some things we pick even as children, and we end up not even sharing. And it hurts us even more, and it separates us with our parents. Now, I know that in my, as I've been talking, I've been mixing a lot of points, but I hope you live with what you will live. May God help us. But you find that in that context, I just want you to think about it, because you see, the way we are is an accumulation of our environment. And I want you, even as we will be continuing with our discussions, I just want you to leave here with a positive, as I mentioned, the perspective, and also try to make that step of courage and express that thing that you have not expressed. From a parent, from a child, you know, ask your parent, and as a parent, ask your child, why this, why that? And then you will see a very beautiful dynamic that grows. And I believe that's what God put us here to be. As we are his children, we come boldly to the throne, right? But your child cannot come boldly to the throne of your office in the home. So think about these things as we continue with our discussion.
Thank you so much, Ted. We have done well. I know we have raised so many other questions. I see there are still concerns online, but because we cannot finish, this was just creating awareness so that we can spark continuous discussion. It's igniting us that fire to be able to seek to know who we are. I would like to ask the rest of the members to give us their parting shot, but you know that this is a beginning. It's not parting to forever. It's the beginning of a continuous discussion where we would like you to seek the help of counseling department, the help of groups, support groups, and the help of other outlets where you can be able to let out what you're doing. So Ted said, but I'll come, you'll be the last. So we'll start with Elder. Your parting shot for this.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. I want to say 4 things. Number 1, many people are in rehabilitation centers because those around them have refused therapy. Many times we become the stressors, the ones who are pushing these people because we don't have information, and we continue propagating it. So my prayer is, number 1, if you are here, introspect yourself, seek help. All of us need help. All of us need help. Number 2, we need to understand the environment that our children are growing right now. How many of us, we have come from a society where our fear was to go to school. If your son asks you, your daughter asks you, why do I go to school? There's no more employment. What will you say? Most of us parents, we don't have answers why our children should go to school. So we need to start changing the narrative. We need to have the true education. In fact, colonialists were teaching us education to work for them. They did not teach us to think or to act or innovate. So it's up to you as an individual to make sure we are able to pull ourselves up so we can be able to understand the environment we are living in and with our children. Number 3.
Maybe the third one we can hold on for the next period as we hear parting shot from her.
Okay, the last thing I'll say is all of us, this is a beginning point. We can organize ourselves. We can seek therapy. All of us, we need each one that we can create an honorable environment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder. Emily?
Thank you, but first allow me to comment on what my son talked about. Now, all of us parents want our children to do things our own way. On personal experience, I used to bring my children here. None of them comes to church here. And of course that hurt me so much, but because of counseling, I had to take it through therapy. I know they go to church. So for me now, because they could be rebelling with one way or the other. I have a son who was sickle cell, and I think I talked about it. So I'm imagining he knows people know about him here, and therefore he would not want to come here. He's not comfortable. So there are things that we may do as parents that cause our children not to do things the way we would want them to do. Because there was something on TikTok where another boy was saying that my mom has received a call, and then she says, "Hata nani ako hapa, ebu ongea na yeye." Nani alikuwa anataka kuongeleshwa, you know. So what is it that we are doing even to our children? Let's not make them be who we are. My parting shot, we all have wounds, and these wounds are from generation, passed down to generation, to another generation. All of us have wounds, all of us. There's something that is painful that you've experienced through your parents, your grandparents, and even your children are experiencing them now. And these wounds, we've covered them. I covered this wound, but when I just touch a little Koba, it's painful. It's painful because you're talking about something that hurts him, but you do not even know, because it's a wound that you've covered, but it will start to smell. And when it smells, it will be out there. So what is it that brings about these wounds? They are our personal experiences. So those experiences that we have, Elder Doctor talked about feelings. So we experience this thing. I pass you and you say, "Emily, amenipita," but I did not see you. But that's an experience you have. And what feelings do you have? Sad. Kwani anafikiri yeye ni nani? She's proud, or she doesn't think I'm good enough to be greeted or something. And then what happens? The next time I greet you, you do not greet me. And I don't even remember that I didn't greet you. So the experiences we have, whatever experience you have, the feelings you get out of those experiences that you have, and then the behavior. So we behave because of how we felt. So these wounds are there. Can we identify the wounds that we have from generations over and deal with them so that they do not start smelling and making everything worse? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Emily, Jackie, maybe in 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. What I would want us to remember is that we've talked quite a lot, we've shared quite a lot. If you know there is something you are doing wrong, I think you still have a chance to make things right. All is not lost. You still have the same children that you parented the way you parented them. You can make it right in very many ways. Call them, have a meeting, and speak out openly. Unlearn the bad parenting that you received from your parents. Because parents were also parented at some point. And so they inherited that kind of parenting, and now they are practicing it with their children. Just unlearn that. Again, be intentional in making things right. Personally, I have issues with one of my parents, not really issues, but there are some things that I didn't like, I still don't like. But this parent has not been willing to talk. I've tried several ways, but it's not easy. It's work in progress. So if you have such a parent somewhere, just be intentional. You be the weak one, as the society would put it. Reach out, discuss your feelings openly, and that will make you heal so that you can move on even with your children, with your nephews, with your nieces, and all that. Maybe just to say one thing, one experience when I tried reaching out, I said, you know, that time you did this, it really hurt me. It's still hurting me whenever I remember. You know, I said it in my mother tongue, and I said, unajua nimeshikilia, in my mother tongue. She said, okay, you already know. She said that, oh, umeshikilia, it's okay, just hold it, shikilia kabisa mpaka ufunge. And you know, you are left wondering, oh my goodness, I was trying to make it better. Do not lose hope. Sometimes they say that, they actually don't mean it. but they don't want to own the blame. They are also feeling bad about that. So just keep on to, make things right. Be intentional about each and every step that you make. Listen to your children, listen to your parents. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. I don't know whether that was 30 seconds, but Ted.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by parents here. Just saying, I'm sorry, I didn't see it that way. It won't kill you. It won't kill your ego, similar case to how you humble yourself before your boss. These are your children, they will take care of you when you grow older. Learn also to be humble to us. There's a verse that talks about what happens to parents when they do this way to their children. I don't want to look for it. We know this verse. But the point is, you need to also understand that you can do wrong to your children, and it is okay to see it. I know we live in a society where our parents are very sarcastic. Umevunja hiyo, vunja yote bas. We're very sarcastic, but you don't know, not everyone handles sarcasm the same way other people will handle sarcasm. I can be sarcastic with Jackie here, but with somebody else, they feel hurt because not everyone has the level of capacity you think. And that's why it's important to understand. The last bit I want to talk about is, there's somebody that I like to follow and listen his thoughts because he's just very brutally honest. And as a man, I love honesty. He calls us functional illiterates. You've gone to school, you got your diplomas, your degrees, but you're functional illiterate. You literally do not have time to learn things, to gain knowledge, to understand things. We minimesoma. And these are the kind of things we bring into trauma into our family when it comes to poverty, when it comes to tribe, when it comes to blame, putting guilt, silence, avoidant personality. You don't want to address a mistake because you are so prideful to your children. Now ndo utawaambia, hey, my son, nishikie private room Nairobi hospital. Please. Learn to know that we are your children. We will be there for you. We will honor you as God commands us, but we also want you guys to meet us halfway. Lastly, young people who will be watching or here listening, I need you to understand that it comes to a point when the way you feel is your responsibility now. What you do, you need to understand that you need to take that burden. We have Christ, but we also need to take responsibility, as Jackie has told us, to take that step forward and also to try and solve it. Meet your issues and try to not be avoidant because it will help you heal. Oh, and I almost forgot. Parents, do not use God, the Bible, the church as a place to run. Face your children. If I'm having an issue and I tell you, hey, I'm going through this, God will provide. Please, just listen to me first. Listen to me. It is valid. And I'm being serious, parents. Because you see what? You already dismiss me before I say what I want to say. And then that's in my mind. When I have something, they'll dismiss me. They're not competent to handle what I want to say. So I go to my friend who is not experienced enough. And that's why we keep going wayward. So this is the beginning, but I hope we will continue to grow in Jesus' name.
Thank you so much, Teddy. Don't you wish we have Teddy more? He's hitting the nail on the head. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of this discussion because of time. Thank you so much, the panelists, for contributing and the congregation. We still have some pending concerns online, and we will be responding to them individually. Know that you've been heard when the questions you've raised. And moving on, we would like you to know we will be ready for group sessions. We will be ready for one-on-one as counseling department. We are ready for you to be able to air your story. Because when you are able to talk it out, it helps you to heal. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We are closing with a word of prayer led by our Elder Okoba.
Let's pray. Loving Father, we thank you and we honor you. You're our God. Thank you for this day you gave unto us. And you have commanded in your word that you've given us a word in season for the weary. How I pray for your healing power through your spirit. How I ask, oh God, even as we get out of this place, may you continue treating us, oh God, and teaching us our ways as we expose our wounds as they become scars, that we may learn from those experiences. Where we have not touched, oh God, there are those questions we have not answered as we look forward to answer them. I pray, God, you will be able to hold on those who have sought help and maybe we have not reached out with them. Let them trust in you. At the end of it all, oh God, we experience your goodness and your mercy and most of your church to grow when we are able to understand each other in our operation as parents, as children, as the church, as the nation. Glorify yourself now, even as we live here in our lives. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you, members. Thank you, panelists. Thank you for feeding us. I want to believe that we have learned. Ama, was I the only one who was learning? We have learned, And how I pray that the Lord will help us to also put into practice what we have learned. There were so many other questions that we were not able to handle. And probably we may not answer them this afternoon, but this is just the beginning of this discussion. This is to encourage church members that as a counseling ministry team, we are here to support and also to go an extra mile, probably to get counselors from outside church because of dual relationship. But if you're comfortable, yes, we can have sessions, but if not, we can also try and arrange to have counselors from out to be able to talk to us. For example, someone was asking, how do you go about PTSD as a result of physical trauma? There's a lot of things. There are some underlying issues probably that you need to handle when you come in as a client that we need to talk about. So we may not be able to answer this extensively this afternoon, but I want to encourage us to try and see counselors in your space, wherever you are. These were online questions, but for us who are here, there are counselors within church, there are counselors without church. Someone was also talking about how can I navigate anger transference between family members. Anger is an expression of feeling. It means something has happened to you. So you need to address that thing that is happening to you that is making you angry. All right? So before we even address that, find out what it is that is making you angry so that then you can address the anger. Someone else was talking about in a family where our mom loves her siblings more than us, and sometimes we ask her why, and she likes to say because we don't love her, and so they're wondering what should they do. And I'm wondering as a parent, I'm just wondering at the answer the parent gave, that I am loving my siblings more than I love my children because my children don't love me. But I encourage us, just like we have been told today, let's all create an avenue for us to discuss, for us to interact with our children. We are both crying out loud to be heard. The children want to be heard, the parents want to be heard. But if we don't create that environment, we are not going to be able to engage, and we may not be able to heal as children, as parents, as a community. One thing that I have picked from this discussion is about active listening. There's listening and there's active listening. Can we actively listen to one another? Parents, let's be actively listening to our children, and then we encourage them to actively listen to us. Most of the times we just talk about don't do this, but they learn from what they observe, okay? Let's be present. being present. And someone also said that not all approaches are wrong, But again, I'm not also blaming the parents, because there was something that was modeled to us. And so we are just, transferring what we learned. But this afternoon we have learned that we don't have to be rigid, Yes, we learned that other route, but it's not working. Our last presenter talked about, the way we gave instructions, but we talked negatively. Like our parents would tell us, now wache chakula ichomeke. Sindio? Try that with this generation, iyo chakula itachomeka. So it doesn't work today. It doesn't. Be direct and engage, And there was so much. There's really so much that came out, but let me just conclude by saying, let's be open and ready to learn. Our daktari said we are living for the first time. Is there anyone living for the second, third time? This is just a first of me, a first of you, And let's be open, ready to learn, embrace each other, so that we may all have a healed generation and a healed community. So may the Lord bless each one of you for your contribution, for your participation, and for being there with us. So let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for your goodness in our lives. We thank you for having given us an opportunity to learn from you this afternoon, King of Glory. Thank you so much for the wisdom and the knowledge that we have gained, and the insight, King of Glory. How we pray that which we have learned, may you give us the courage to put it into practice, because many a times we don't, because we don't have the courage to put into practice. Reassure us that you're always with us. You will guide us through all this, that your name be glorified, your will be done in our lives. If there's anything we have done, said, or thought of that doesn't bring honor and glory to you, may you pardon us, may you forgive us. May you help us to have a brighter and a sharper generation that will only bring honor and glory to your name. To this we pray, believing and trusting in your holy name. Thank you very much. May the Lord bless you, and have a blessed evening.